of applause and a pat on the back for being here, especially if you're VIP. You guys also, yes, very good. You guys also, if you are on Total Rewire on Facebook, or maybe you're on YouTube and Instagram, please register for VIP. We're here in a special Zoom room with you guys for VIP, right? And you're going to get some very neat additions to Dr. Trivedi's work. He's also offering a bonus if you sign up for VIP. That's bonus information that Dr. Trivedi is allotting to you. Plus, guess what? The recordings for all 3 days. How many times have we watched something and didn't catch everything? Oh, come on. Every hand's going to go up, right? You always look and you say, I got all that. I understood. I heard it. And then you listen a second time and you realize, oh man, I didn't hear that. I was so engrossed in the last comment that I didn't even hear the next one, right? And Dr. T's full of beautiful nuances every single minute. So you want to catch all of that and you want to get the recordings. And also don't forget, at the end of today's session and all 3 days, you get a special Q&A time with Dr. Trivedi. Now, we've all talked about this and heard this. I don't know if you're new to the world, maybe you are, but one question to Dr. T can change the trajectory of your life. Absolutely. I've seen it hundreds of times, and so has everyone else on here that if they've been around, right? One question can completely change the trajectory of your life. So Diane, Carl, love to see you guys. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Linda. You guys are phenomenal. You can put in the chat box where you're from and what you're looking to gain out of Rewire Your Life workshop. When I say workshop, that means we're actually going to be doing some things and working a little bit with Dr. T today. So I want to make sure that you guys know Dr. T will give you some homework. He will give you things to do. So be able to write that down, take some notes, make sure you guys are ready for that, and post in Total Rewire the entire event. You can do it throughout the days as well. You don't have to just do it during the event. So please participate in there, post a win, post your realizations and your takeaways from the homework. You know what people even do? I love this. They take pictures of their homework and they upload it in the Facebook group. That way we know that you have done the assignments, and you never know around here. We may just give you a free gift card, random prizes, things like that. So be aware that we could all of a sudden give away a gift to any of our participants throughout the event. Is that exciting to you guys? Let's give us a round of applause. Awesome. All right. So listen, the live trainings will be available on the Total Rewire Facebook page throughout the week, but make sure that you're getting on your calendar from 12 to 2 Central Standard Time each day. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you got 2 full hours with Dr. Trivedi. All right. That's going to be your resource throughout the week, is staying on that Total Rewire page. You also have what we call a dashboard. It's your own website. If you registered and you got in here, especially if you're in VIP, you're going to have a dashboard. You'll be able to read those assignments and get the screenshots of the pages that Dr. T is having you do on the assignment. So go there. That's your resource throughout the week. And you also have, like I said, you have that ability to get on Total Rewire, ask questions, post a video of yourself, welcome, so that we can welcome you, right? And introduce yourself. Give us a little introduction. So as another clue that Dr. T is going to suggest, he's going to say, introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, what you do, and what your favorite superhero is. If you haven't done that, think about that now, so that when Dr. T calls on you guys later, you can say, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to say. So you can introduce yourself quickly, okay? Are you guys loving this so far? It's going to be so much fun today. I just want to get you guys excited, all right? All right, so listen, just a couple of things real quick. You know what? If you upgrade to VIP, you will get the recordings, you'll get the replays, you'll get an extra detailed information that he has put out as well. Again, he doesn't give away his work very often. So if you're going to get anything extra from Dr. Trivedi, jump on top of that and be ready for those Q&As at the end. And we'll go through how that works as well. So don't be shy, participate throughout so that we can give you guys some gifts and some participate. You know what? I'm going to give out a participation award right now. Is that okay, Amanda? I'm going go ahead and do that through the back office, right? Let's do this. I'm going to pull out who's been participating and sharing with us this morning and doing all the good stuff, and even on the Facebook page and everything. We're going to go with Dr. Carl Barnes. Dr. Carl, you just won a $100 gift certificate for an Amazon card. Woo! Ah, that's awesome. All right, way to go, Carl. So yes, participate in the chat boxes, participate in Total Rewire Facebook page and whatever social media you're on. And you can actually tag Dr. Trivedi by tagging Dr. Trivedi as Dr. Rewire. So tag Dr. Rewire. That way you'll always have access to that, and you'll be able to get participation credit throughout the event, okay? So I want to bring up Dr. T real quick. What I'm going to do is share a little bit about him. So Dr. Trivedi, he's also known as Dr. Rewire. Aren't you guys excited to hear about that? That is so cool. Dr. Rewire, he has a patent on Dr. Rewire because he rewires the brain like no one else. And we're here for the Rewire Your Life workshop. Dr. Trivedi is a media personality. He's actually the author of Chasing Success, Lessons in Aligned Performance. The guy has been sought out by CEOs, celebrities, professional athletes, and he is been seen on CBS, NBC, Fox News, Shape Magazine, Global News, Entrepreneur. He's even been featured on Amazon Prime. He's helped over 500,000 people in 50 different countries. He is literally the professional for fulfillment and human behavior. He has studied the mind-body connection for over 30 years. This is going to be an astronomically awesome couple of days. So let's welcome him. I want to do that by showing a short video here, but real quick, he's also had his entire team has been featured on Inc. magazine, featured as number 672 as one of the fastest growing companies in the United States. Let's give it up for an awesome video with Dr. Trivedi.
So I did take the responsibility for my life, and it's because of that.
Say that again? Did what?
I took the responsibility of myself and her life.
Say that again?
I took the responsibility of me and her life.
Stand up on your feet. Put your hand on your heart. And now say it again.
I took the responsibility of me and her life.
Dr. Trivedi,
the author of this book, Chasing Success, joins us. A human behavior and national stress reduction expert. Dr. Alok Trivedi is Dr. Alok Trivedi. He's the founder of Aligned Performance Institute.
I'm Dr. Alok Trivedi. Man, you're going to want to sit back and relax and enjoy the ride.
I am so grateful that he is doing exactly what he's doing with his life, because it is awesome what I've seen him do with people.
He changed everything. I started clearing a lot of those feelings I had of guilt and shame or resentment.
When I think about the work that you've done with me and how it's really helped me to be grateful in any given circumstance, these 4 Emmys right here, half of them are yours.
I never knew life could be this awesome.
The future is now.
I'm doing a development right now that's 9 figures.
By next month, it's going to be even bigger than the 40%.
There's no question.
The level of respect has risen. That's probably the sexiest thing ever.
$3,000 to almost $30,000 in 6 months.
You provided me with so much value in a short period of time.
Working on myself helps my boys, who are the reason I breathe in and out.
I've gotten back into those creative juices again.
My revenue in the last 3 months has grown 30%.
Say that again.
My take-home pay is double. During COVID, my business income grew 81%.
And how do you explain what you do?
Grab a notebook. Let's get to work. I'm Dr. Alok Trivedi.
Let's give it up for Dr. Trivedi, everybody. Let's give it up. Awesome. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? Hey! What's up? Hey, welcome.
Thank you all for being here. Goodness, thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited. So excited to be here. Hey, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys here for being here on the Rewire Your Life workshop with me for the next 3 days. This is going to be power packed. Look, I don't know where you're from, where you're sitting, whether you're in America, whether you're in Canada, or maybe you're sitting. I hear there's people from South Africa here, but wherever you are in the world, here's what I want you to do. First thing I want you to do is I want you to type in the chat box and tell me where you're from, because you don't know, right? Let's go to camera 6. Let's show them. I can see all of you. I can see everything here, right? So I see Memphis. I see Idaho. See, there we go. This is the studio. This is my studio in my office here. And so I can see everything over here on this chat box over here. When you guys type things in, I can see it. I see Boston. I see Utah, Manchester. I see Los Angeles, Kansas. Fantastic. And I want you guys to know that this is a conversation. Over the course of the next 3 days, I'm going to be walking you through a journey of yourself. But I can even see like Heather, she's having her coffee. Like, I caught you. You're busted. Damn, I can see everyone. Reed, hey, good to see you. Different color hair this week. I can tell. It's awesome. Great to see you as well. I can see you here too, Krishna. I got you as well. For all of you guys who are here, I want to really say thank you, because I will say this, and I don't know what you're doing, if you're sitting down like Cameron is, or you're focused on doing something else. The information that I'm going to share with you is not only, it could be information, or it could be transformation. It could be information that you take, or it could be transformation. There's a lot of people here who've come into this world, who've done programs just like this. And in a matter of 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, have literally transformed the course of their life from where they were. Because the things that I'm going to share with you over the course of the next 3 days are not rooted in my opinions. My opinion means nothing. I want you guys to know that. I don't care about my opinion. You shouldn't care about my opinion. It's not about opinions. We're going to go through science. We're going to go through geeky neurology, and to make sure that you walk away with the strategies, right, Brandon, the strategies you need to take your life to a whole nother level. So if you're like Elena or you're like Tim, I want you to know that we're going to do this together. Right. And we're going to do this together. And Burke and family, I love that she's got the family involved. We're going to make sure we chat together, and we're going to have a whole conversation. This is not me lecturing here to you guys. If I wanted to be a lecturer, I'd be a college professor, but that's boring to me. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in talking to you, right? I'm interested in knowing you. I'm interested in getting to understand you at a deeper level, because when I understand you and I get to know you, what's going to happen is that you're going to instantaneously share things that are going to help you take yourself to another level. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, just raise your hand, kind of give me a thumbs up or something like that. That gives me some context, right? Cool. For those of you who are here from outside of the world, I'm sure there's some Australians. Any Australians in the house? Just raise your hand. Any Australians? I see a couple from Australia. Fantastic. Anyone further than Australia? South Africa, I heard, was on here. Anyone from Asia? I see Carla's out there. Darren, I don't know where you're from, Darren. Darren's out there, someone from some Asia, I guess. So I want you guys to know that I really, really respect, and I want you to know that I value your time. And I thank you for trusting me, whatever hour it is of the day, to spend it with me, because it means the world to me to be able to stand here, to be able to help people and help you take your life to the next level. I hope inside this, right, Debbie? It's not about staying stuck. It's about taking where you are and going to another level. But more than another level, I think it's more about learning to love who you are and understand who you are. Because when you get to do that, all these things change. All these parts of your life change. And the inside of you begins to translate. You change from the outside. And so what we're going to find out over the course of the next 3 days is that we're going to work together to help you find greater levels of appreciation, love, business, growth, money. All these things are going to happen when you begin to rewire yourself. That's the cool part about this, right? Arun, I don't know where you're from, but you look like a guy who's focused and serious. And I like that, right? It's okay to be focused and serious, but we got to learn to be focused and serious and appreciating who we are on the inside. So first thing we do before I go into any content, any work, is that there's something everyone focuses on what they want to do, and they want to have a great life. How many people on this call want to have a great life and live just an amazing experience of life, right? Just put your hands up for me so I can see. Of course you do. That's why you're here, for crying out loud. That's why you're here. And I do too. That's why we're here. But what I've learned is that we focus on this idea of the macro experience of life. And it's important. The macro experience of life is super important, but you don't get to macro wins in life without micro wins. We've got to take micro wins to get to macro wins. I'll give you an example of this, right? My son, he plays soccer and he's pretty good. And so he had a game the other day and he had a beautiful scoring opportunity and he botched it, completely botched it, right? Pardon me. He completely botched it and he missed it. It was an open net. He played a great game. He set the ball up. He had like 3 assists in the game. He played fantastic, but he got out of the game and was pissed off at himself. And he was angry. And I said, I know what you're doing, right? Any athletes in here, right? Any athletes? Several, okay? Yeah. I said, I know what you're doing right now. I said, you're focusing on the one shot that you missed versus all the amazing plays that you made through the game. All the amazing things that you did throughout the game. And I said, that is a recipe of disaster, because what you're going to do is you're going to train your brain to focus on what you don't have rather than what you do have. So what we've got to do is, first thing right off the top, is we've got to begin to train our brains to think in a state of simple micro gratitudes. Micro wins is what we call them, micro gratitudes. So what I'm going to do is I'd love for you to participate with me, and whether you're in VIP or not VIP, raise that Zoom hand of yours. You can make it ethnically correct if you want to. I don't care. But raise that Zoom hand and share with me a micro win in your life that you've had over the course of the last 2 days. Pretty simple. And if you don't put your hand up, I may just call on you. I may just call on you to help you grow beyond that, right? So first up, I see Gerald Musa. Let's go to Gerald Musa. Gerald Musa. And after that, we'll go over to, who do I want to go to next? Who do I want to go to next? After that, we'll go to Diana Moore. We'll go to Gerald Musa, then Diana Moore. And then after that, we'll go to, who are we going to go to next? I think we'll go to Kim Bailey after that. All right, here we got Gerald Musa. Gerald, you got your camera off, so I need you to turn your camera on. That's what I'm being told. All right, if not, team, why don't you guys figure out someone and pick someone for me? How about that?
Let's give it up for Diane Moore, everybody.
There we go. We got Diane Moore. There she is.
My wins
wait,
finalizing.
Wait. Rewind it. Before you introduce yourself, I need to know you a little bit. I need to know where you're from, what you do, and who's your favorite superhero, okay?
Okay, great.
Go.
My name is Diane Moore. I'm from New York. I have a commercial cleaning company. I actually have 2 superheroes. Okay. Can I say both of them?
Of course you can. If they're your superheroes,
I have Wonder Woman.
All right.
I have Wonder Woman and the Black Panther. So those 2 are my superheroes.
I love it. So
and my micro win was just completing some documents, some paperwork for the business. For me, that was a good win for me in the last couple of days.
I love that. You sound like an entrepreneur who doesn't like to get down into the nitty gritty of details of paperwork. I know, it's okay. I get it. I don't like nitty gritty of paperwork too. That's why we get people to do that stuff. They do paperwork. I don't do paperwork. So Diane, let me thank you and welcome you to the next 3 days. And I want to appreciate you for stepping up right away, right off the bat. Let's give it up for Diane, everybody.
Thank you.
What do we have next?
Hey, Dr. T, let's give it up for Kim Bailey. Give it up for Kim Bailey, everybody.
Hi, Dr. T. Thank you.
Hey, Kim, you got to introduce yourself, where you're from, who's your favorite superhero. I know you, but everybody else needs to get to know you too.
I'm Kim. I'm from Idaho. I just started a business in vibrational sound therapy, and my favorite superhero would be single moms.
I love that.
I think they are amazing.
I love that. Fantastic.
So I have several micro wins recently, but a few that I did over the weekend is I moved into my own place. That's big. So that's my biggest thing. And I was able to have my daughter's 16th birthday, have some friends over and family over in my new place this weekend. So
look at you getting empowered and shit. I mean, stuff. Look at you.
Yes. And I've gotten a few new clients too. So that's great.
And clients and money are showing up and you start doing the work. Holy crap. Get out of here. Good for you.
Woo!
Super excited. Give it up for Kim Bailey, everybody. Great job. Great job. Let's get one or two more and then we're going to move on.
Okay, Dr. T, let's give it up for Brandon Flores. Brandon, let us know where you're from, what you do, and who your favorite superhero is.
You there, Brandon?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
There we go.
How's it going?
Good, Brandon. How are you?
Pretty good.
Excellent. Tell me where you're from, where you do, and who's your favorite superhero?
I would say I am from Grand Ledge, Michigan first. Sorry, this is just a little out of my comfort zone, but
hey,
that's how you grow.
Yeah, that's right. I just want to acknowledge that right off the top. You're doing something outside your comfort zone. Great work for stepping up for yourself, man. Just right there. Right. Let's give him a huge round of applause for stepping up and get out of his comfort zone. Right. Yeah, absolutely, brother. So great job right there, because we're all going to need to do that. We're all going to need to grow and step a little bit out of our comfort zone. And I'm going to talk a lot about that today. So thank you for being the example that we're going to use today. So great work. Okay. So you're Grant from Michigan. Then what do you do?
I have just began entrepreneurship, working on getting a daycare going with my fiance so that we can start teaching the children of the next generation that there's more offered out there than we're led to believe.
I love that. I love that. Right. That's so cool. That's so great. I see so many like moms are like, yes, finally another daycare. That's someone that can take care of my kids and someone who has a mission behind it. It's so cool. And who's your favorite superhero?
Goku from Dragon Ball Z.
I don't even know who that is. I don't even know who that is.
Basically, why he's my superhero is because he always pushes above to the next level to defeat whatever issues are ahead of him. And always stays positive and looks forward to the challenge.
It's great. I look forward to that, dude. I look forward to your growth and you stepping into your challenge, my friend. Great job. Let's give it up for Brandon, everybody. Let's get one more. Let's get one more in there.
Absolutely, Dr. T. Next up we have is Alcina Tran. Let us know where you're from, what you do, and who your favorite superhero is.
Hi, Dr. T. My name is Alcina. I am from Boston, but I live in Southern California. And my favorite superhero is actually also Wonder Woman as well.
Cool. And how do I say your name right? Alcina?
Alcina.
Cool. That's a really cool name. I love that. I love that. So you're from Boston, but you live in Orange County, California?
Marietta. So yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that close to that? I don't know. I just know Orange County and San Diego. That's, I don't know, Southern California.
I'm in between. I'm in the middle.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. I just got back from San Diego a few days ago and it was absolutely beautiful. And you guys don't know, I woke up this morning in Chicago. Anybody from Chicago here? A couple of you. There was snow. There was snow outside today. So if you have warmth like you do, Alcina, be grateful for that. That's the micro win. So what's your micro win? Tell me about your micro win.
I recently made a huge ask. So I'm a coach and an artist as well. Cool. I've been coaching for a couple of years, but the artist journey is brand spanking new. And I made a huge ask, reached out to a producer, made a proposal, and he accepted.
Cool. So you're going to be in the movies now?
Yes.
Is that the plan?
I will be working on music.
Music. All right. Very cool. Is that your form of art that you love?
Yes.
I love that. So cool. Well, congratulations. That's super exciting. And you never know. We may see her at the Grammys one day, right? You may see her at the Grammys one day. So
Hey.
You never know.
Thank you.
Great job. Let's give it up for Alcina, everybody. Do we have one more? I think we've got one more. I think we should do one more. I think we're going to do one more.
Hey, Dr. T, we got Caleb for you. Caleb Q. Give it up. Let us know where you're from, what you do, and who your favorite superhero is, Caleb.
Caleb, excuse me.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can, yeah. Where are you from, my man?
I am from Amarillo, Texas.
Amarillo, Texas. All right.
Nothing too exciting. Yeah, we got a couple 100,000 people here, but nothing special about Amarillo. But so what I do, or what I was doing, selling Medicare insurance.
Yeah.
Up until 3 days ago, I got let go. I got fired. So there's a couple of reasons behind that. But I think overall, I've been praying about this for quite some time. But I think this was probably a blessing that it happened. I love the company I was working for. Absolutely love the company. Great management, leadership, all of it. But my heart just wasn't in it. So very grateful that I got to work for the company for the time that I did.
Great. Is that your celebration?
But and my favorite superhero. I'm very grateful. Very
cool.
Absolutely. And favorite superhero, I guess he's not really a superhero, but King Leonidas from 300. Just one of my
Sparta.
So yeah.
Love that. Love that. One of my favorite movies.
Yes, sir.
So cool. Well, let's give it up. Great job, man. Caleb, thanks for being here, man. Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for sharing and stepping right in, like right off the top. I'm asking you guys, you don't even know people and you're jumping right in, sharing who you are. Thank you guys for jumping right into that. Honestly, it's not easy. And I really do want to commend you and welcome you into doing that. Look, over the course of the next couple of days, I'm going to probably say some things that are going to rattle your cages. I'm not going to lie. And as I dive into this, I'm going to say some things that you probably have never heard of. How many people have been intrigued by saying, like, maybe you've seen me on social media, maybe you've seen my stuff before, but some of the things that I've said have just been like, this guy's a little bit different and he's thinking about things differently. Heather says, yeah, this guy's different. And yeah, and Andrew as well. And here's the thing why, and I'll be very transparent with you. I have nothing to hide. I'm very direct in who I am. I know who I am, and I'm very sincere with who I am. I will tell you right off the top that I am not a conformist, meaning that I'm not going to tell you things just to make you happy. I don't give a rat's ass if you're happy or sad. What I care for is your transformation. I've said this for all across the world, is that I'm not here for your happiness nor your sadness. I'm here for your transformation. And that to me is the most important thing, because whether you like me or you hate me, I don't care. But if you say thank you to me, that's the ultimate gratitude I can get from the work that I do, because thank you and love is the same. It's the one thing that is ultimately true. I will go through things over the course of the next few days that will trigger you. I'm going to tell you, it's going to trigger you right now. And you're going to didn't say, you know what? You could easily just press the button and say, I'm out. You could. I'm not saying you can't. And I'm not going to say things that's going to make you stay either. I'm going to say the truth of how things work. And then you're going to have to make a choice whether you're ready to deal with it or not. Is that fair? That's kind of direct right off the top. And I get it, right? Like, I'm known as the cut the BS doctor because I tell people the truth. I had 2 patients the other day, and I don't even see patients anymore, but I had 2 patients the other day, and they're like 76 and 78 years old. And I've instructed them in the past, and I've guided them in the past. And I sat down with them, and they said, well, what should we do? I said, here's my statement, right? Now, imagine going to a doctor that said this to you, right, Arun? I said, what difference is it going to make that I tell you what to do? You're not going to follow the recommendations anyways. You're going to waste your time and energy and not pretend to yourself that you're going to do it when you don't, unless you're really ready to make a change. Like, that's direct doctor talk. Like, that's straight up, right, Elena? Like, that's no joke. And they're like, no, we need to make a change. And I say that to every one of you, right? I don't know why you're here. I don't know why any of you showed up over the course for the next 3 days. But what I can tell you is that if you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I need to make a change. And this guy's saying something that, you know what, I know in my heart is true. and it's been sitting there. It's been ringing true because I've been doing the other things, right? I've been doing the affirmations. I've been reading the books. I've been going to seminars. I've been attending all these things, and nothing has changed. How many people can attest to that? They've been doing these things and nothing has changed, right? Yeah, for a lot of people, it's true, right, Darren? And you sit and you say, why am I stuck in life when I've done all the things like everybody else? I was the same way. I did all the things. I spoke. I was friends with everybody, and I'd tell you to do all the same affirmations, read all the same books, and tell you, you know what? And I like to love Think and Grow Rich. Everyone's like, Think and Grow Rich is the Bible. It's great. It's cool. It's a good book. But if Think and Grow Rich was the Bible, then everybody who reads it should be rich. Like, that's just a fact. Everybody should be rich. But that's not how it works, because there's a variable inside of that, right? Like, everybody who sits and says, like, you know, as long as you know your why, that's all that matters. How many people have heard this? Know with your why, right? Simon Sinek wrote a great book, Start With Why. I think it's a good book by any means. So I'm not taking away anything from Simon in his book. But at the same token, how many people also know the why of your life, of why you get up in the morning, why you do what it is? And you know what? It's probably going to be the people that you love the most. Am I correct in saying that? Of course it is. You know your why. And so the answer really starts to, you start questioning. I know my why. I've done the vision boards, or what I call the nightmare boards. You put them on a wall, you stare at them again and again and again and again, and they don't show up. And you're looking at it and saying, why isn't my life where I want it to be? Why isn't it growing? Why am I stuck exactly where I was 3, 5, 7, 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago? I don't know what it is for you. But chances are, if you're stuck, the question is not so much the why. The question is more so, why not? Right? Why not? Why haven't I achieved the things that I said I want to? Why haven't I become who I said I was going to become? Why haven't I achieved the success, the health, the fulfillment, the relationships, the marriage, the sex life, the intimacy, the personal freedom, the personal love, all of that stuff? Why haven't I achieved the $1 million dreams that I've wanted to? And you can all sit and say it's fear, but it's not fear. It's not fear. It's the neural pattern that you're stuck in. It's the neural pattern you're stuck in that happened to you from a very, very long time ago, or a very short time ago. I don't know what it is, but what it is, it's inside of your psyche, and it's running through your cell and your physiology. My job today is not to be a coach nor a mentor. It's to be a doctor. Doctor, the root word of doctor means teacher. That means I'm going to teach you. And for those that don't know, like, my mastery is in the world of mind body. Like, I understand this, right? Like, we've got a huge mental health crisis, we'll call it. And you put that in quotation marks for you, because it can't have a mental health crisis without a physical health crisis. I want you guys to hear that loud and clear. You can't separate the mind from the body and the body from the mind. It does not work. But everybody's sitting saying we have a mental health crisis. You know, people are having negative thoughts. People are having, you know, suicidal thoughts and depression thoughts. And don't let me sit and say that I don't empathize with that. I do. I actually want to solve it. I actually want to solve that, and I can, and I do. Right? The quickest time it's taken me to be able to rewire and reverse depression has been 6 minutes. Like, 6 minutes, depression gone, instantly finished, over. But you can't do that if the physiology isn't in the right place. So we've got to work through both. And over the course of the next 3 days, I'm going to be talking a little bit doctory. I'm going to be kind of assimilating neurohormones as to your psychology and why you stay stuck. And I'm going to map this thing together with the mind body to give you maybe a system and a set of tools, Kim, that can help you move yourself from where you are maybe to the next level over. Does that make sense with you guys? Is that okay? Right? But this is going to be work. Right? I would love to sit and tell you that, hey, look, you don't have to do anything. You can just, Alcina, you can just sit on the sidelines. Like, you can just listen, and that's it. And it's cool. Like, right? It's cool. This guy's, he can speak. He's got, you know, he's having a good hair day. I like his brown jacket. That's cool. Like, it's all fine. But if you don't do the exercises tonight, you're going to get a bunch of information. You're not going to get the transformation. That's the difference. Right? So a lot of people will sit into this thing and they'll say, hey, look, let me just get this information, because this information is all I want. The more information I have, the better I'll be. Look, aren't you fucking information tired? Aren't you tired of learning more and more and more and more and more and staying stuck in the same fucking place? Mind my French, but I'm not going to apologize for who I am, because I am who I am. So if I offend you a little bit by swearing, I sit and say, and I challenge you to sit and say, you know what? Is the swearing offending me, or is it triggering a part of my system that's holding me closed off? Because here's the thing, what I've learned is that I'm going to trigger the statements inside of you, and they're only to wake you up. So if I say things like that, and I say a couple swear words inside that, trust me, it's not to be disrespectful. That's not it at all. It's simply to introduce you to the parts of yourself that you're unaware that you're actually holding a charge into and staying stuck in. Does that make sense right off the top? If that gets under your skin, it's a part of a rule that you've placed on your life that you're now staying stuck in. That's why I do it. In reality, people say, well, Dr. Trivedi, you swear it when you do seminars, and I can't listen to somebody who swears. Really? That's it? Like that's your paradigm of, if Elon Musk told you how to run a business, but he said shit once in a while, you wouldn't listen to him? Like, that'd be crazy to me. Like, I would say do it all the time. Like, but we've got these paradigms. And I'll give you an example of one. How many people have stayed stuck and tried to do, someone said it earlier, I don't remember who it was, but tried to be a positive thinker their entire life? Put up your hands. Put up your hands. Try to be positive all the time. Come on, Andrew. I know it's you too, brother. Don't leave me hanging. I know it's there. Right? There you go. There you go. Okay. So you try to be a positive thinker. Here's what you do. You're like, I'm going to be a positive thinker. I've got this. I'm a positive thinker from today forward. It's the new year. Yep. New year, January 1st. This year, I'm going to promise myself I'm going to have only positive thoughts, and I'm only be a positive thinker. And so you label yourself as a positive thinker, and you go all day and you're a positive thinker, and you sit and say, hey, look, I'm positive. I'm positive. I'm positive. You know, whatever situation is, I can turn it into the positive. And then eventually you have a negative thought, and it creeps into your head, and you sit and say, oh shit, man, I wasn't supposed to have any negative thoughts. I'm a positive thinker, man. I got to start this whole thing again tomorrow. How many people have ever been successful being 100% positive thinker? Please put up your hand and look around. Not a single hand goes up. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. But now at the same time, let's take another paradigm inside of this. How many people have been 100% of their life completely negative? Crickets. Crickets. Why is that? Because the reality is this, is that you're positive sometimes and you're negative sometimes. You're happy sometimes, you're sad sometimes. That's part of the human experience. And your neurophysiology determines these emotions so that you can actually live and understand the experience of emotions. So that you can actually experience it. But the more you tell yourself, hey, look, I've got to be positive all the time, and I'm just a positive thinker inside of this, you now stay stuck. And you get angry when you can't keep yourself there anymore. And you beat yourself up. And then you cause yourself depression. Mark my words, I'm saying it on social media so we can go wherever it want to. The reason for depression is positive thinking. The reason for depression and anxiety is positive thinking, not negative thinking, because people are stuck, deluded to a one-sided existence that the brain and body does not match. Let me show you why. Let's go to the board if we can. Okay, so let's go to the board and understand this. I'm going to take my jacket off and I'm going to get teachy with you guys. Can I get teachy with you guys? Is that all right? We're going to get to work. On a very basic premise, right? You have your brain here. Here's your brain. Your brain now sends messages through your spinal cord in two parts. And one of the parts is called your parasympathetic nervous system. The other part is called your sympathetic nervous system. There's a test later, so make sure you know these terms. I'm just screwing with you. You don't have to do that. Let me explain what they mean, okay? The parasympathetic, this is ease, relax, and it's known as rest and digest. You can see by my penmanship, I am a real doctor. If you ever had any questions, just look at my penmanship. It's pretty poor. I get it. The sympathetic, however, this part of you is the side that's actually in fight or flight or freeze. Okay. Now what happens is this, is you have these thoughts inside of your head and you sit and say, look, I want it to be restful and I want it to be happy and I want it to be all this side, everything over here. And you sit and say, this is the good side. And this, well, that's bad. That's the bad side. We don't want any of that. Let me just explain to you something that is really needs to be understood, is that in order for you to crave rest and relaxation, it means you perceive yourself to be overstressed. Does that make sense, what I just said? Right? So people say, I'll give you an example. This is a pretty simple example. People sit and say, you know what? I need a vacation. I need a vacation. And I need a vacation from my life. It's just so tiring. It's so exhausting. And I work so hard and I need a vacation from this. And if you're in the need for a vacation and you're stressed out because of a vacation, chances are is that you perceive yourself that life is too challenging. You perceive it to be too challenging. And you sit and say, hey, look, I need more time. I need more time because this part of the system over here, it releases these hormones in here that you've heard of. It's called cortisol. The adrenals start overworking. Some of these sound familiar at all? The adrenals start overworking over here and cortisol gets released. Over here, you get dopamine and norepinephrine. And you think, man, this is good. This is the good stuff. We feel better when we do this, right? The dopamine goes up when your sugars go up. So if you have a bunch of sugar, dopamine gets flooded into your brain. If you have a bunch of sex, let's just go to it. Dopamine goes to your brain, right? All these things that are addictive to the personality, right? If you look out there, alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, all this floods your brain with excessive dopamine. And excessive dopamine starts to create the exact opposite response. I'm going to explain that in a little bit. But if this makes sense so far, put your hand up that you're with me, that you get some of the basic premise. I need to teach you this basic premise so that as I move forward, okay? So when you get a decision-making process, here's what happens. You look at it and you say, well, here's my life, and I've got to think differently. I got to think differently, completely. And what we do in our society really well is we separate ourselves. And we say, this is the body, and this is the mind or thinking, right? And I'll tell you what, transparently, it's been very difficult for me because people have said, well, you help people think differently. I do. But I also help people feel differently because I do. You help people think differently and feel differently. So are you an expert in thinking or are you an expert in feeling? Are you an expert in weight loss or are you expert in muscle building, longevity? And here's the thing. I'm going to tell you guys a secret. It's all of it. You can't separate one from the other. And so all the marketing people I have, Matt, I don't know, you know, like all these people say, you know, what's your niche? There's no niche when it's all connected. How do you niche that? It's the mind-body experience. It's lifestyle. How do you perform at a higher level? That's why I said basically I'm a human performance doctor because I help people perform at a higher level and live at a higher level. We change the way we think through this thing called logic. And we change the way we feel by these things called our emotions, which lead to feeling. Now, watch. I could make anyone in this room feel great by making them think of something that was really, really exciting in your life. Like, say, example, the micro wins, the micro gratitudes. How many people were thinking about their micro gratitudes and started to feel better? Of course you did. Right? Like Brandon, of course you did. You started being grateful for what you had in that moment and you started feeling better. Dopamine went up. Dopamine went up. That's good. We like that. That's a good thing, right? Cool. Now I could also make you feel pretty crappy. Focus on the things that did not go well over the course of the last 2 days. Pick one. Find one, Jamie. You got one? Something that didn't go well. And you can make yourself feel like garbage, can't you? So tell me at a point where, doctors will sit and say, thinking has nothing to do with the mind. That's insane. Any doctor that says your thinking has nothing to do with your body is absolutely insane, because the way you think affects serotonin release, which lives in your stomach. And the way that you think, if I made you think about an experience in your life that was super pressured or super challenging, your muscles will tense, your body will get tight, and you'll feel constricted. Anyone ever experienced that before? It's called an anxiety attack or a panic attack. Anyone been there before? Yeah. Okay. So the first thing I need you to understand before I break things down and go through is that the mind body is uniquely connected to one another. And it makes sense that it's connected to one another because it's allowing your system to work correctly. But the thing is that when we think, this is strategy. This is all strategy. How we think is strategy. How we feel is emotional. This is the heart center. This is why when we say we love someone, we feel it from the heart. And those of you who are my yogis out there, your chakras intersect at the heart. My sound vibrational healers and my acupuncturists, all meridians cross in the heart. Any alternative health practitioners? I don't call you alternative, but I'm just using it for the term. Any healing practitioners out there? Yeah. So for all of you out there, all of that intersects at the heart. And all the meridians start from the brain into the feet, and they all intersect at the heart. And it's 108. 108 meridians intersect at the heart. And for those of you who are spiritual or religious in some context, as yesterday was Easter, there's 108 beads on the rosary. I'll let you figure that part out on your own. I'll let you do the research on that. But if we're looking at this in your nervous system, we're looking at this thing and we're saying, hey, this is thinking, and this is going to be the serotonin. Well, serotonin starts here. Dopamine comes off of here, and it has to affect our system down here. It has to, right? And we say, okay, then our feeling is affected by the way that we're thinking, but, and a big but, like a Sir Mix-a-Lot but on this, okay? For those of you who are 90s kids like me, you'll follow what I meant with that joke. The way that you feel also affects the way that you think. The way that you feel and the way that you use your body also affects the way that you think. So here's my challenge to you all today is for those of you who are sitting there thinking that, hey, all I need to do is think differently. No, that's not true. And those of you who are my workout junkies, all I need to do is move differently. No, that's not it either. You need to intersect the mind and the body to connect. Because watch, how many people on this call are workout? Just put your hands up so I can just kind of get a context for them. And for those of you on social media, just put yes in the chat box for me, right? Just put yes in the chat box, okay? So those of you who work out, how many people work out and still have challenges in the way that you think? Antoinette's like, yep, my God, that's me. Okay, how many of you don't work out and still have challenges in the way that you feel? Yeah, but you think you got your mind set. But the reality is that you can't have one without the other. This is the point I'm trying to make. And this, when I go speak to conferences, this is what I try and tell people. I tell people in the business context that strategy alone is built on logic. And you can use all the logic you want to try and succeed, but it's not going to get you there. You need this thing to feel. The human body needs to feel. We have these feelings as feedback to let us know how we're thinking. So for example, if sometimes you'll get patients, some of you will get patients if you're in sound healing practice or something like that, or you may be a client and someone presses this trigger point inside of your body. Anyone ever had that? And like an emotion wells up? Yeah, I used to get this in practice all the time. I used to see a patient and I would press on a point on their body, or I would, press on a point on their spine and they just start bawling. I'm like, oh shit, what did I do? I was like, oh crap, what did I do? Did I screw up? I don't know. And they're like, no, doc, it took me to a memory of when I was a kid. It took me to a memory when I was younger. And it just reminded me of my mother, my father, my grandmother. And yeah, they brought that up for me. And they cry. Here's why. because you have two parts of thinking, two parts of your psychology, so to speak, let's call it. You have your physical age, and then you have your emotional age. Your physical age may say, hey, look, you're 30 years old. Cool. Or you're 60 years old. Cool. Fantastic. And so you go to the doctor and you sit and say, hey, look, I'm 30 years old or I'm 60 years old. And then they do your lab work. They look at your blood work and they say, based on a normal 30-year-old person, you should be here. Or based on a normal 60-year-old person, you should be here. Let me ask you a question. What's normal? Normal in the US is obese and sick. So let's not play on that card. Anyone on this, let's not hold that to our standard, okay? Because that's the normal. That's what they say is normal. That's not okay by any means. But you also have this thing called an emotional age. Because let's say you were, I don't know, maybe you're 5 years old. Maybe you're 5 years old and you move away from friends. And you're really sad and you're angry. Anyone remember when they were 5 years old or 6 years old, who was young and they had any anger or temper tantrums? Anyone ever experienced that? Of course we did. We felt emotions when we were in the womb. Like you're not obsolete from them. But right, when you're young, you have these emotions and you sit and say, oh, I got these emotions, and you're angry. Where do those emotions go? Where do you think they go? Maria, where do you think they go? Daquan, where do you think they go? Nina's saying, pointing somewhere. Where are you pointing, Nina? Where are you pointing? Inside. They go into your cells. They go into your cells. And this is called cellular memory. We have trillions upon trillions upon trillions of cells. That's activated by stress. Activated by stress. So when we perceive that there's stress in our system, and we say we're stressed out, what we're doing is we're literally telling our entire nervous system to release these hormones called cortisol, adrenaline. What happens when cortisol and adrenaline go up? Watch, I'll tell you. Muscles get tight. Sugars in the blood go up. What else do you think happens? Blood pressure rises. Heart rate rises. Huh. Interesting here. Hang on. Wait a minute. So what you're telling me, Dr. Trivedi, is that I could have what I call a root experience, not a trauma. A root experience that I've had since I was 5, 7, 10 years old that I was stuck in because I had to fight or flight or I froze in it. And I was stuck in that pattern. And that pattern is in my cells. And that cell is literally running my physiology and running my body. Ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what I'm saying to you. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because that emotion of feeling is stuck in here. And when it's stuck in your system, you are locked into that. So you'll sit and say, I'm 60 years old by age. And you'll say, happy birthday, happy birthday. 60 candles go on the light. But your emotional age may be 5 and you don't even know it. Maybe 5 years old. And that's why when you are young or when something happens and someone in your life triggers you to when you were 5 years old, you respond without even thinking about it. You respond without even thinking about it and you get angry or pissed off. Anyone ever had that? It's like you don't even know why you're angry. You don't even know why you're pissed off. You're just angry. Does that sound familiar, Michael, at all? You just respond with complete anger because what it did, it triggered your emotional age. And as soon as it did, blood pressure went up, heart rate went up, cortisol went up, and your entire body stays in the state. Now, please listen to what I'm about to say next. This next piece of what I'm about to say is about to wake you up or shut you down. If you're stuck in that pattern and you're trying to get physically healthy and you're stuck in that pattern, releasing cortisol into the system, and that body is stuck in that frozen, stuck pattern, and blood sugars go up, what follows blood sugar rising? Diabetes or prediabetes, right? You stay stuck in that pattern. What else follows? High blood pressure. Blood pressure goes up. What else follows that? Increased heart rate, tachycardia. What else goes up? Weight gain and excess fat storage. Does that go up? Absolutely. So if you're trying to get healthy, but the thinking is not rewired, not rebalanced from the root experiences, do you think when you go to the doctor, and I have no ill will against doctors, I think they're high cholesterol for sure, right? Thank you, Isolda, right? I have no ill will towards a doctor, but is there a part of yourself that you're not taking control of, and then what they're doing is giving you a drug or medication that's literally covering the symptom? Does that make sense? It's just covering the symptom against it. Now, it's needed. Don't get me wrong. If your blood pressure is high and you need it, there's a need for it. I'm not taking away from it by any means. But I know firsthand, I have seen cases, I've worked with cases where people have been sick and diabetic, and you rewire them and their blood sugars drop off. It goes away. Normal. People who have insulin issues, type 1 diabetes, drop off. I did a TikTok video, and I got something like, I don't know, 1.4 million views on this TikTok video where I said diabetes is not a disease. It's a condition where you have too much sugar in the bloodstream, and insulin has to be released. And everyone went crazy with it. They said, well, that's type 2, not type 1. Correct. That I'm not saying no. Type 1 diabetes is different, but both of them are connected through psychology, because there's a direct pathway from the hypothalamus right to the pancreas that controls blood sugar release as a defensive mechanism in the body. Okay, I've geeked out science with you so far. How many people are with me so far? Yes? On social media, I hope you guys are with me, okay? Why this is important is because your why is far more irrelevant to you than your why not, to getting what you want in your life. Your why not is more important, because here's what happens is you'll start, if this is the baseline in the middle, we know this. We've talked about dopamine. We've talked about neurotransmitters already. Most people will sit and say, they'll set an aspiration for their life. And you'll sit and say, hey, look, I know my why. Maybe my why is to make $1 million. I'm going to use money just as a form of a metric. But in your life, it could be anything. It could be losing weight. It could be gaining success, or it could be, buying a car, or buying a house, or buying or not buying, or just building a family, or getting married, or whatever it is. Doesn't matter what it is. It's just anything that you're trying to achieve. Here's what happens. You'll go and you'll say, I'm going to set a goal, and it'll be $1 million. I'm going to use that as an arbitrary number. Okay. Because people will say, I want to make $1 million. I want to be a millionaire. Okay, cool. Great. And I just want you to know that if you're a millionaire in this time and age, then that's not a lot of money. That was good back in the 80s when, you had people talking about money in millions. It's great. But now it's 50 years later, we've got to up level ourselves, and $1 million's not enough. You need to think decamillion by any means if you're going to survive the financial climate of what we have coming at us, right? So you look at it and say, okay, I'm going to set this goal for $1 million. And you feel, oops, I messed it up. And you feel it. And you sit and say, I feel like I'm going to do it. And then what you'll do, and you, maybe not you, but I'm just saying you, and I'm putting it out there for everybody because it's the way most people do it. And I can see for some of you, I'm triggering emotions, and I'm triggering some charges, and I can see tears welling up for some of you. And what I can tell you is good. That's an awakening. That's a good thing. Don't run from it. Listen to it. You'll sit and say, hey, look, let me get this feeling. And you'll meditate to this feeling, and you'll try and get to this place. What does a millionaire feel like? And then you'll try and put it into the universe and say, I feel like that. Powerful. I'm not taking away from that. But it's not balanced in the way that you think. What it is, it's built on the primary emotion, which is pride. It's built on the primary emotion of pride, and you built a fantasy around it. And so what you do is you built on this primary emotion of pride, and you sit and say, I'm going to be a millionaire. And everything you think is about being a millionaire, and all the thing is based on pride. And so you sit and say, oh, crap, I didn't get there. So you set a goal that's unrealistic, and then you didn't get there. Here's the midline of your brain. This is balanced. You're going to fall twice as low back here. So if this is, say, a marker of 10, you'll drop to 20 here. I'll use another example. You do 20 here. You'll drop down to 20, and then sit and say, here's what you'll do. You know what? I'll make it up next year. And if you're a salesperson, you're marvelous at doing this crap. Or an entrepreneur, you're marvelous at this. We didn't hit our targets this year, but next month or next year, let me tell you, we're going to take it to a whole nother level. We're going to double what we did last year. Anyone ever do that? Please put up your hands. Come on, Jackie. I know your team's done it before. Of course we have, right? We've all done this crap because this is a balanced compensatory mechanism of the body and the brain. So then what you do is you say, fuck that. Next year, we're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. Damn it, we can do it. Cool. 2 million. And you didn't hit a million, so you have no way that you're actually hitting 2 million unless you're a rare person that's maybe had it 1% of the time. You don't hit 2 million. Then you say, you know what? Shit, I don't understand the point of that. This is what you would call feeling good. And you don't get that. So this is what you call feeling like shit. Oh, I'm sorry. That'd be bad. That'd be the psychologically correct way of saying it. And then you come to the next year and you're like, well, we didn't achieve it again. Now we feel bad. And now we're depressed. And now we've got all these bills. And then we feel anxious. You know what? I have no control of my life. Screw it. I'll commit suicide. Because suicide comes from a lack of control. So I started this whole talk today saying that positive thinking is what's creating your chaos. It is. Positive thinking, you know your why. The why not is the reason you're stuck down here. But the why not is this. It's the emotions that are controlling your thinking that are stopping you from actually moving forward. It's the emotions in here that are stopping you from thinking and not allowing you to move forward. Does that make sense? I can't tell if you guys are with me. Have I triggered you, pissed you off yet? Good. I'm glad I did. Because tonight, when you do your homework, you're going to understand why you do it. Because most of us have been taught this diluted way of thinking. And I'm going to say something, and please don't take this the wrong way or disrespectfully. But we learn to think by the people we surround ourselves with. And we learn to think from our parents for the most part, and the people who play the role of our parents. And they're good people. But most parents don't understand the science of thinking. They don't. They're great. They love you to death by all. Of course they do, right? And even if you think that they don't love you to death, I can prove to you that they do. And my mastery students can attest to that. They can prove that they do love you, just in a different way, not in the way that you wanted it to. But when we hold on to this, and we learn the way to think that they taught, or how, pretty much the majority of people think, we never heal ourselves. We never get to appreciate ourselves and appreciate who we are in our existence. And that's why it's like, you've got to look at this and transform from the inside out. And for those of you who are going to join me in VIP in a little bit, I'm going to answer questions for you guys. I'm going to talk to you guys and work you through this. Because for some of you, I can see like it's really opened up some wounds. And here's what I'll tell you. It's okay. Like, I know it doesn't feel good, but it's okay, because it's not about feeling good. When you have a cold or a flu, anyone ever had COVID? I did twice. I wasn't good enough the first time. I did it twice, right? Did you feel good? No, of course not, right? felt like garbage, felt like crap. But your body was building the immunity. It was building strength for you to get to the next level so that you can heal. But you've got to live inspired to get there. You've got to be inspired to get there. You can't be in a desperate state and ask for inspiration. But our mind and body have to connect. We have to figure out the why not. We have to figure out what the why not is. And when we get the why not, we move and we heal and we rebalance it. We move forward to what we want to do. And so tonight, I've got more I want to share with you guys, but tonight what I want you to do is I want you to think about maybe some of the things that could be holding you back, right? I have a homework piece I want you to give. I'm going to give you that at the end here, but maybe write down things that you could think of. Actually, you know what? Just do it now while I'm talking. Just take 30 seconds right now and just write it down. Maybe we can play a little music and give people 30 seconds just to write it down. What could be holding you back? What's the root experience? What's the story? What's the why not that's holding you back? Let's take 30 seconds and do that now, because I think it's going to be valuable if you get clarity on what that is. Yeah, you guys are doing great. You guys are doing fantastic, even on social media. Take a moment and do this, right? And you guys can do this. If you're watching this on replay, you can watch this and do it as well. But take a few minutes, take a few seconds, and you guys can continue this list afterwards after we're done to be able to do that as well. And then at the end of this, I'm going to give you an exercise I want you to do to help maybe weave some of this stuff out of your life. Maybe weave some of these things out of your life because your body's holding it. And after years and 400,000 patients or 500,000 patients now over the course of my lifetime, I can tell you that this is not an opinion. This is a fact. This is how you take people and heal Crohn's in 26 minutes, heal diabetes in 15 minutes, have people who couldn't get pregnant balance their estrogen out in months, right? When you take people's and they start losing weight, when they start healing issues in their life, they start releasing cortisol in their life. Like, this is how the body works. You've got to heal the mind and the body. You can't do one without the other. It just doesn't work that way. So think about that just for a second. Okay, well, great. You guys can do this on your own now, but I wanted to just take a second and do that, right? Okay, so as you're thinking about this, I want you to think about this. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? We've got 3 days that we're going to work together, but I also want to take a short second, if that's okay with you guys. Let me ask you this. Has today been eye-opening in some capacity? Yeah, if it is, put up your hands for me so I can see you. Yeah, put it in the chat box. Put it in the chat box for me. It is. Okay, I see yeses. And for those of you online, put yeses as well, social media as well. Okay, cool. Great. Here's what I want to do. If it's okay with you, I'd like to take maybe 3 to 4 minutes here, and I want to invite you. We've got 3 days together here for sure. And those of you coming to VIP with me, we're going to answer your Q&A and do lots of stuff there. But I also want to invite you to a special program that I do called Total Rewire. And Total Rewires is, I'm going to do everything I can over the course of the next, with 6 hours with you guys. But Total Rewire is a 3-day program where I spend 36 hours rewiring the course of everything that's in your life and then show you the path and open you up to a whole new part of yourself. We can pull up the slides. I just want you to see this. This is on May 13th to the 15th. And this is a 3-day workshop where I don't have, a bunch of guest speakers. That's not what I do. I have me and you, and we go to work and we go inside of your psyche and we go rewire that in the 3 major areas of your life, in your health, in your wealth, in your relationships. Let me ask you a question. How many people wrote down something that they wrote down was related to health in some capacity? Yeah, for some of you it was. Good. How many people had something that was written down in wealth in some capacity? Others. Okay, great. How many people had something down with relationships? Right? Yeah, that's great. All of this we're going to work through that. But if you could change that and rewire that, that's the course of what we do. We spend 3 days doing that. I want to show you a short video here, kind of explaining to you what happens at this workshop, right? Let's take it's 30 seconds. Stick around for it. Watch. Let's go.
I was literally on the brink of closing my doors.
I wanted to play like Thelma and Louise and just drive the car straight off the cliff sometimes.
I was living in desperation because that job was sucking the life out of me.
There's more levels to all of this.
I was not able to talk with him at all about money.
How many women feel like that they can't talk to their spouse about money?
I realized that my blind spot is because I was waiting for recognition for my family.
I always wanted to be a leader, a great leader, but I didn't know what I didn't know.
But at the end of that 15 minutes now, whenever I say bankruptcy, I smile.
Did I ever sell you a get rich quick scheme?
I carry $300 in my wallet without spending it.
Would you ever go back to the old way of life?
Never.
That busted me wide open.
The more I organize my money, the more the money comes.
After doing the work with you, I found out who I really am.
What happened to your income?
It doubled. So glad.
Say that again. So the
It doubled.
We've increased our income 51%.
Wait. She said that so quickly. Hold on. Wait a minute. You got $500,000? I taught you one thing, and that was to learn to love yourself, and money shows up because wasn't that it?
Absolutely.
How about that? Rewire your life, make $500,000. That should be on our next ad somewhere. That should go somewhere. I think we should put that somewhere.
That's the event that we do. And those are real stories of people who've actually transformed the course of their life. And at this event, I just kind of share with you what we're going to do. On day one, I'm going to focus heavily on your relationships. And your relationship to the self is really a big one, right? And I'm going to take the 8 steps to rewiring your life. And here's what I'm going to do. First, we're going to do a belief inventory. This is why this is important. And belief inventory, we're going to go through a process where you're going to learn what your beliefs are. Because everyone tells you this is what you believe, this is what you're supposed to believe, but you don't know what you believe, right? It's your why nots. We're going to find all of them, right? And we're going to go through all of them. And it's going to change the course of your life. When you know what your beliefs are, then you know how to change them. I'm going to take you through the science of that. We're going to understand what your values are, what specifically your values are for yourself. We're going to go to the path, of true financial freedom. And I'm going to give you the emotional secrets to be able to do this so that you can actually resonate at a frequency that allows you to bring in money and hold on to money. Because how many people can relate to this? Watch this. You've made lots of money in your life, but you can't hold it. They have nothing to hold on to. Can anyone attest to that? Yeah, because that's guilt and shame, ladies and gentlemen. That's inside. We've got to rewire that. We're going to rewire your regret. Anything in the past that you feel like you've regretted, we're going to take care of that. Relationships and money. I can tell you the number one cause of divorce in this country is not a lack of sex. It's a lack of understanding of balance of money. Number one cause of relationship issues. Second is intimacy. So we've got to handle the money. I say that all the time. You got to handle the money because your health and money go hand in hand. That's for sure. We're going to rewire fear. I'm going to take you through an exercise. I've got 92 different tools that I use, and I'm going to take you through an exercise in 3 minutes. I'm going to take you through and rewire maybe one of your biggest fears of your life. And people go through it. They're like, what? That just happened? And I rewire it right then and there. It's gone. You're going to discover your true identity and understand why you make the decisions you make. Right, Tim, it doesn't matter where you're from, what you do, or Kate, or Heather, or I love that name, Risa. I love that. Right? I love that name. And it doesn't matter, but you've got to know why you make the decisions. A lack of clarity creates creates confusion that stops you from moving forward. You're going to understand the freedom formula, your own personal freedom formula, which is different for you, Michael, which is different for Richard, which is different for Priya, and different for Alan out there. It's different for every single human being. We're going to go through that inside of that. Inside this program, how many people, let me just ask you this, as you're watching this, just know that you want to learn more and you know that this program is right for them. Just put your hands up for me so I can see that that's true for someone. Great. So for those of you that are committed, all you got to do, it's really simple. It's a simple, all you do is scan the code on there. And it's normally the tickets are $497 for 3 days with me. If you spend 1 hour with, you don't even get an hour, but a day with me is worth $50,000. But I can do this at this level because we have lots of people in this room. It's $197. And here's the cool part about it. You get to bring you and a guest for it. So it's $100 a person. Here's what I've learned. If people are committed to transforming their life, they will do what it takes to be able to make sure that happens. So it's $197. All you got to do is go to totalrewirenow.com or just put your QR code, scan it, and it'll take you right to the webpage, and you can just kind of be a part of that for yourself. As a bonus, there's got to be a bonus, of course. I'm going to give you 2 months of a program that I do called Financial Rewire. This is $1,000 value. This is $497 a month. It's basically $1,000 that I'm going to gift you inside this. You buy your ticket, you're going to go in and you're going to get this as a gift right off the top. So you're going to start rewiring yourself around money right away. I'm also going to give you, for my entrepreneurs, a program called Think Wealthy. This is a 3-hour program that I did to help you train the way to think around wealth, money, and entrepreneurship. And then I did another one where I actually called it Rewire Entrepreneur, where I actually took people and showed them how to rewire themselves inside as an entrepreneur, not just wealth.
That's also $397 value. Total bonuses include $794 inside of this. And that's all the bonus inside of it. It's $197. I'd love to hear from maybe someone, maybe one or two people who've actually been to Total Rewire before, and maybe talk about your experience at Total Rewire. Just kind of raise your hand if that's so. And you can kind of talk. Let's call on Reet. Can we call on Reet? And let's get one more maybe after that. Who are we going to get after that? Okay.
Hey, Dr. T.
What's happening, Reet?
Just loving my life, and I'm grateful to be here on this Easter Monday with you.
I love it. Well, thanks for being here. Real quick, don't take, I know you had a chance to go through Total Rewire. You've been through multiple Total Rewires, the program itself. What did the program itself do for you? Just that 3 days spending working on yourself, knowing your values, your mission, and understanding with greater clarity who you are. What did that do for you, your family, and your life?
That first Total Rewire just flipped my life upside down in the best way possible, because I woke up. I truly believe that was the day I woke up and I took charge of my life. I owned and took responsibility for my life, not blaming anybody else, my kid, my husband, my parents. I understood why and the why not, right? You taught me both the why first and then the why not. And I was coming in very depressed and the victim of my own circumstances. My relationship was strained. I wasn't loving being the mom, or I couldn't see the value. I love my daughter now, and I love her every single day, and she's the greatest gift that woke me up to my bullshit. And I just have so much gratitude for my life, for my partner, but I take responsibility. It's not my husband's job or my daughter's job to save me or get me out of a depressive state, or they're not in charge of my emotions. I govern them. I take full responsibility. And when I'm going sideways or getting off my path, I have tools that you've provided me by doing the work that every day it's, we think we're just going to be fixed, and there's another layer. What we learn, you teach us, there's another layer. And that's why I do my very best to keep you in my ear. And because you're teaching me, and I'm here as a sponge, and we don't ever stop learning. And I'd gotten myself comfortable. That word comfortable. And I never want to be comfortable again. I don't want to ever sit in comfort. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a relaxing weekend with your family. I don't want to spend my life there.
But let me ask you this. At Total Rewire, when you got to understand what your beliefs were, what your mission was, and your values were, just what did it do just to know those three pieces of the puzzle?
It started to give me that sense of whole feeling, like that complete feeling of a whole human, because I did not understand values. I did not even understand mission and identity. Oh, I judged myself. Like, it was chaos I kept creating. And once you once you kind of combine that, I had a whole new appreciation. And you gave me a map of, like, you literally provided me the beginning of a roadmap that I continue to develop and learn and grow, and I continue to do it. And that was a game changer. I don't think people realize, we think we know until we realize that we really don't.
Yeah, most people live in a world of conscious incompetence, right? They think they know, but they just don't know. That's just exactly it, right? So let's give it up for Reet. Thank you, Reet, so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Dr. T.
Great work. Great work. Who do we have next, Amanda? Maybe one more person.
Yeah, Dr. T, we have Marcy Dunn. Give it up for Marcy, everybody.
Hey, Marcy.
Hey, how are you doing, Dr. T?
I'm good. How are you? Why don't you share?
I'm doing better.
Good. Why don't you share with what did Total Rewire do for you? And just getting awakened.
Okay, I won't go into what Dr. T has done for me, but Total Rewire, my first one,
you can if you want.
Took me from Pardon me?
You can if you want to, because you got a pretty amazing story as well.
Okay. All right. Well, my first total rewire took me from a point of accepting my type 1 diabetes I've had for 40 years to a place of learning I was accountable for having type 1 diabetes. And that awareness made me realize just how powerful my mind is towards my body. Mm-hmm. So that has opened me up to many other things as I have worked with you for the last 2 years. I have gone through a lot of changes. I have been able to go back to work temporarily. I had been disabled for 25 years due to the diabetes. I used to go to the hospital every 6 to 8 weeks and be admitted for the diabetes. In 3 years, I have not been to the hospital for diabetes. That's just after I started working with you. This is the story he's talking about. I went to a program that he had in December called Creation. I had never worked directly with Dr. T until then. And he helped me. I had always figured that my abusive and distant father didn't love me. I had accepted the fact that there was an explanation why he was the way he was. He'd been abused all his life by his people that were supposed to love him. So, of course, that's how he reacted to people and love and parenting.
And so, Marcy,
I could accept that, but I still didn't feel love.
So, Marcy, then what ended up happening at that event when we worked and I rewired?
What ended up happening is I learned that my dad loved me. That cleared 7 guilt and resentment experiences from my past and lowered my need for insulin. I have been able to drop the amount that I take. During the 4 days we were there, I bottomed out a lot because my body began controlling my blood sugars. I still have to take insulin. I'm on a pump and it does its thing, but it only does 60%. And my body has started taking over the other 40%.
Now, I want you guys to realize type 1 diabetes, your body doesn't make insulin. Like her body never made insulin. So she rewired it. We got to the core source and the root experience. She healed it and bam, her body started making more insulin. Now, is she healed from type 1 diabetes? By no means am I saying that. But 40%.
No, I'm not yet.
But you're not supposed to heal from that. You're not supposed to come back from that. They're supposed to say, this is the way it is.
No, it's a death sentence.
It's a death sentence. And she's taken the charge of her life to be able to do this. This is what happens when you start to rewire and you connect the mind and the body. Let's give it up for Marcy and Reed and everyone for being here. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, Marcy. I appreciate you. So look, I say that to you guys, and those are 2 great testimonies of people who come to Total Rewire and literally just change the course of their life, because you don't know what's holding you back. The why not is more important than the why. And you don't know what it is until you go do the work to find it, to discover it. And it could be a pattern. It could be something that we've got to nail. And when you do that, when you get clarity on your beliefs, and you get clarity on your actual vision and your mission and your values, what happens is the brain starts coming together and forming as a piece, and you start moving towards things in your life versus resisting them. And you get more out of your life. And the why not eliminates itself so that you can get the why. And I say this to you because I had to live it. I'm not preaching from an ivory tower. I was broke. I had no money. I had no job. I couldn't get a dime to my name. And I figured this stuff out because I had to save my own life. And I said, I'm going to make it my mission to be able to help people take their journey and help them live a life of inspiration for themselves. That's what this weekend is about. So if you're interested in joining me on that, it's May 13th to the 15th. You go to totalrewirenow.com. register for it. It's $197 for the course of this program, and you can be a part of that. Now, back to the workshop and what we're doing here. You have a form on the dashboard that you have. It's called a letter to the self. Okay, here's what you're going to do. Here's your homework for tonight. Your homework for tonight is to write yourself a letter. What would life look like? Remember those things you wrote down earlier? All those things that you were saying that could be your root experiences that are stopping you from moving forward, that are stopping you from getting ahead. And in the VIP, I want to hear from some of you who actually have that, right? So I want to hear what stories you're telling yourself. But your homework is this, whether you're doing this on social media, you're going to the site, whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, write a letter to yourself, assuming that those are no longer a part of your life. The story you're telling yourself is no longer, the root experience is now healed and it's no longer a part of your life. What does your life look like? And I want you to date it April 18th, 2023. And this letter is to you. And you're going to write it to yourself and you're going to say, hey, Matt, it's April 23rd, April 18th, 2023. And, here's what's happened since I've released all these things and I've healed all these root experiences in my life. And you write the letter of what's happened in your life inside that. You can make it as long or as short as you want to inside that. That's piece one of your homework. Okay. You good with that, Matt? Okay, great. Second piece of your homework, what I want you to do, and this is super important. I really want to acknowledge Brandon for starting us off on this, is get a little bit out of your comfort zone. Little bit out of your comfort zone, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to go into the Total Rewire group and I want you to do a Facebook Live video. Just take your phone and put it up there and do a little video introducing yourself and letting me know who you are, where you're from, and who's your favorite superhero. And what you're hoping to gain out of this work in this next course of the next 3 days, right? Simple video. And I'm telling you this. Who was it earlier? Dr. Burns was Dr. Burns? Was a doctor earlier who got himself a little Amazon gift card prize. Tomorrow, you've got to be on live, number one. But tomorrow, I watch these videos. And the coolest, most creative one is going to get some prizes. And there may be more than one. Dr. Carl, thank you very much. Dr. Carl may be able to get it. So that's the homework for tonight. So again, make sure you do your letter to yourself and do your Facebook Live video inside there so we can get to know you and get to meet you. This is a community. This is everyone working together to help us all heal ourselves because we're all in this journey together. Whether you are 50 years old, you're 70 years old, you're 5 years old, makes no difference. We're all humans. We're trying to heal ourselves and trying to love who we are. Ultimately, the answer to your life is loving yourself. This is the first step I can give you to getting you to move towards the path of learning to love yourself and heal yourself. But we can't do it when the mind and body are separated. We've got to do it as we bring together as one. You can't be happy without being sad. You can't be sad without being happy. You can't have the mind and thinking logic without feeling. You can't have feeling without logic. We've got to incorporate and start bringing this thing into a state of wholeness and rebalance the entire system so that we can actually heal. I hope today has been tremendously valuable. I hope you've gotten a lot out of today. I want you to take this. Please, please, please go watch the recording because I know that there's very few people that will understand everything I said the first time. Go watch the recording. It'll be there for you. Watch the recording again so you get clarity because tomorrow I'm going to build on this. And then Wednesday, I'm going to build on tomorrow. We're going to work together over the next 3 days, and I'm going to help you get to where you want to go. I'm Dr. Alok Trivedi, aka Dr. Rewire. Thank you guys for joining me today. And for those of you who are in with me in VIP, stick around because we're going to go and I'm going to answer your questions and we're going to get down to work. All right. I'll see you guys, the rest of you, tomorrow.
Awesome. We want to say thank you so much, Dr. Trivedi. Everybody give a round of applause to Dr. T. Thank you for all of your energy and wonderful, wonderful content that we got today. That was wonderful. Thank you again, everybody. Zoom access. If you are here with VIP, you will get access to the recordings. So let's all upgrade to VIP. If you're on social media, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, go ahead and upgrade to VIP. Your links will be in there. I want to see what you guys learned today. Make sure that you are participating and doing your homework on Facebook And that way Dr. T can watch your videos and upload pictures of your assignments and your realizations. That way we know that you're participating, you're doing the work, and you're getting as much out of it as possible. And then always, always make sure that you're getting those tickets to Total Rewire. It's a life-changing event, 3 full days. Let Dr. T tell you, get you from where you are to where you want to go. He's going to teach you why you think the way you do. So Total Rewire is going to be a life changer. Love it, love it. Gotta get there. All right. Anyway, do your homework, do your videos. Love to see you guys there. If you're on VIP, we're going to do Q&A. You guys excited about that one? So I'm going to give you a couple of things on how to do these Q&As properly so that we can get the most out of our 30 minutes. Okay. Thank you again to everyone on social media. You can put your hands up. We might be able to get everybody a couple of questions in there for the VIPs here. Okay. So VIP, what you're going to do, we're going to stick around. I want you to raise your virtual hands. So you'll have the little colored hand up there. I don't know how you push the button somewhere. And you'll get a little hand that comes up in the corner. And what you'll do is I want to ask that you get on there and you say first off what Dr. T said, let him know where you're from, what you do, and who's your favorite superhero, because he wants to know a little bit about you. And then also do your video as well. Let him know a little bit about you, and then you can ask your question directly from the content that you learned today. So what I mean by that is please do not ask Dr. T specific health questions or business questions or relationship questions like, hey, Dr. T, you know, my back hurts. Can you tell me why? He's not going to have the proper time frame or context or knowledge about you to go into things like that. So please be respectful of the community and ask specific questions based on the content that we went through today. All right. So I want to see those virtual hands up in the air, and we will be calling on people here in just a second. All right, let's go, team. Let's go to Claudia Pornaro. She's going to be up. Monique is on deck, and Alcina is in the hole. Miss Claudia, go ahead and tell Dr. T where you're from, what you do, and your favorite superhero.
Yes. Hi. I'm in Montreal.
Canadians.
Canada. Yes. Yes. I'm currently not working. I'm kind of lost in my process right now. So I related a lot to you saying broke and starting from there. That sounds about right. My question is, you know, those root experiences. What if I don't have a lot of memories?
So
on what could have happened?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a great question. We don't know exactly. Our entire system